In my last video, I explored Arknights music with my friend Rain101, a singer-songwriter back from the Twitch Sings era. And with the Masses Travel event taking us to Laterano, this time around we'll only be listening to churchcore. Alright, we're back to listen to Arknights music. What's up, Rain? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, man?
We're doing good. Unfortunately, we live in a AWS outage world, so I don't know what will or will not work today, so hopefully we can listen to music. Because of current events in Arknights, aka the Masses Travel event, we're back in Laterano. We are dedicating this entire episode to churchcore, or really any church-adjacent thing, because of his interest after listening to Somniomancer Null set. Are you ready for this today?
Hell yeah. I've been looking forward to this since the last video where it was like, there's what now? Like, bring it on. Like, that's what I want. Just put it right in my veins.
Alright, so let's actually just jump straight into it. We don't need the preamble. This one is called Hortus De Escapismo.
Yes.
You already like it?
All right. Holy shit.
So,
What a banger. Oh my God. That is like everything I hoped that this genre would be. And I think like a great sort of like primer to genre matchups. Like you've got cathedral sort of like singing and stuff, but like chopped and panned, like and doing all sorts of stuff to like they took this thing that's normally sort of like a cappella, right? Like
yeah.
A choir singing in a cathedral or whatever, and like took like all of the trappings of sort of like EDM music and applied it to them in a completely different way, making it basically kind of part of the rhythm track and turning it into this like sort of backing vocal to this whole other like thing that's going on. That was phenomenal. That's a great. That's a good, like that one's going in like that. I'm gonna play that in the car.
Oh hell yeah!
Work later. Like that's in the rotation for sure.
So this is the first time I've shown you, I think, two songs from the same region, both of this one and Somniomancer Null Set, be taking place in Laterano. Can you see the similarities in like the style and like just the general genre of the two?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if I'm remembering right, both do a lot of the same thing in terms of like the pacing of them, right?
Mhm.
Like they have pretty standard structure in terms of like, build up into the drop, into like the breakdown and all this sort of stuff, but in obviously very different arrangement and instrumentation that makes completely different songs.
I will say I got called out last time because I forgot to tell you what was
Mm.
what. Like Somniomancer Null Set, I believe, was a boss theme. This one is a battle theme, so it's like just your common. I'm in a random battle. Suddenly, it just pops off in your ear.
It's so crazy. Like when you run into a game that
Mhm.
has such good music where you're looking forward to every new scene or interaction, or like in this case, what's the battle music in this region going to be like,
Mhm.
or whatever, and it's this it's
Oh yeah.
this, right? Like that could be worth the price of admission alone. I even think of like Final Fantasy 13 and that series, which is not particularly good but has really good music, good, and that's part of the reason that I kind of stuck around with it.
All right. Next up, we actually have another battle theme. This time of the current event that's currently running in NA right now, and why we're doing this: Faith Enlightenment.
Okay. I really liked. I did it first.
Mhm.
I really liked the sort of like fake out drop eventually. Like at first, I was kind of like, well, that like because there's the first sort of like buildup of tension, and then
Yeah.
the drop is like very sort of like pensive and melancholic before getting building back up to like sort of the real drop. At first, I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting choice. Then the second drop came in, and it was like so much more satisfying, even though like it itself is like a very standard sort, like there's nothing I would say to like write home about compared to like the first song. It's not like as energetic or interesting, I think, but it works because of the fake out. It adds like a lot more satisfaction to it. It's a pretty straightforward sort of like EDM track. I enjoyed it. You saw me like I didn't like it as much as the first one.
I agree.
But
I think the first one's better personally.
Not a bad track by any stretch of the imagination. Just sort of middle of the road compared to a lot of the other stuff we've listened to.
Next up is the most requested song because it's the most quintessential to the descriptor of Catholic dubstep or churchcore. So I think this one is going to be the sauce. We're doing Martyr. I don't know if I'm weird to say this, but I feel like in a sense it kind of gives Bloodborne.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah, I think this is another one of those like the last one, right? A very, very good but straightforward sort of like EDM track, right? And I think out of all of them, the first one I like the most.
It's certainly the most unique.
Yeah, it had sort of like all the elements that I was looking for. Like this, had the organs and had the choir, which are all lovely and interesting. But the first one was the first one like that, or was the only one that like really made those a central feature of the song. All very good tracks, all very like head noddable. I am a really big fan of the really big reversed snare, like the like sort of sound in music in general. Like I like music that hits hard like that. Yeah, really like a great song, just not exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's
from the genre. I would prefer, I should say, less of a focus on the sort of like the wub-wubs and more of a focus on the choral things and the organ.
Sorry, would you say that that's a matter of like your preferred genres more than anything?
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually while I was listening to it. Is like, is this like my taste? And I think it is. Looking at it sort of like removed from myself a little bit, right? If I was playing a video game and it was set in this region that had like church gothic sort of like thing going on, completely fitting, right?
Yeah.
What I would prefer is more of the church. sort of brought to the forefront, and less the more contemporary sort of like instrumentation. But I could also see if you're like playing a game and this is the battle music and it's some sort of like epic boss or something like that, and you want that like punch, right? Like you really want that like I'm in danger sort of feeling. Like this fits in a way that maybe a more choral thing might not.
I'm a bit of a believer in like context does matter in music more so than like it should be in a vacuum. While the other two were battle themes, this one was a boss theme, so you were completely correct. Where insane speech by Angel with guns, I fucking hate you, dubstep.
Sure. Yeah. And especially with that sort of driving bass line to kick it off, I could definitely see like sitting there at, at my computer or with a controller or something like that, and being like completely amped up for this boss fight. The quintessential RPG boss fight music is One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. The second you have to have that opening, right? Like the second it starts, you have to have that thing that's like setting the tone. And I think for what it's doing and probably where it's at in the game, makes perfect sense.
So overall, your general rating is the first one, Hortus De Escapismo, is the best one of the three?
For me, yeah. Like it's my favorite, certainly. Like I said, I'll probably like put that on in the car, like and add it into my RPG jams playlist, because
it's not a bad gym theme, I will say.
If anything, this shows me that this like faux genre or real genre has a lot of room left to play in it. We do this, and in the back of my head, I'm like, I should open my DAW. I should make some music. Like be the change you wish to see in the world. These are my reference tracks. Like how do I take this and make it how I want it to sound? Like what are they doing, and what am I going to do differently, and what am I going to do the same? So like even the stuff, there was somebody in the comments, I think last video, who was like, oh, this guy hates everything. And it's like, no, like if something is good, it's worth critique, right? Like you kind of deconstruct it to see what makes it work. The stuff that I don't like, I don't talk about. I don't listen to. My wife and I have this all the time, where I'm like, I poke holes in things because I want it to be stronger, right? I want to find where it's weak and strengthen those points. If something's trash, I just
move on.
If you listen to a song and it's terrible and it's dissonant, it's like you have way more to learn before we can get into how to make this work, right? Like you have all the wrong notes. Like it fundamentally doesn't work, right? So like when I'm critical of something, when I'm like pulling something apart, it's because I want to learn from it. I want to like find a way to improve my stuff.
So we listened to 3 churchcore music. Obviously you like the first one the most. Where do you rate, if you remember it at all, Somniomancer, Null Set in this list of these 3? Like, where do you put it?
That's a really good question. I think for my own personal taste, I would put it a little below Hortus De Escapismo.
Yeah.
Escapismo, whatever, that one, right? The first one, and above the other 2.
Okay.
Faith and Martyr.
Hortus De Escapismo, that one just kind of hits me. But though I do think I put Somniomancer above it, like just slightly. It just feels like it's more. I don't know, in my head. I don't know how else to describe that.
That's completely valid, and you've heard these songs way more than I have. So like, if I remember right, just from the snippet that I listened to refresh my memory, like they're both really good songs. Like,
all right, well that's all the time we got. Thank you everyone for watching. Just know that next time we're gonna go back to our normal way of doing it and just pick songs that you guys say. Though I will definitely lean songs that mix genres. If you guys get a chance, make sure you subscribe, and also take a look, because I have been streaming almost every other day, maybe, trying to beat every single IS mod or IS ending before Enfield comes out. So come take a look. All right, peace out. Later.